Welcome back. Is Melina dancing over there? Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go direct and brutal again. So any cognitive movement, thoughts, ideas, irrespective of its direction or path, acts as a profoundly disruptive force to the harmonious and the tranquil directness of what already is. The unspeakable, the unthinkable, whichever word you might want to call it, but it will always remain wordless. Because what happens is that any kind of movement, any kind of thinking, any kind of understanding, perceiving is self-centered, self-focused, which remains entirely indifferent to an individual's experiences or cognition. Such experiences, no matter how extraordinary, hold no intrinsic value to the ineffable. The pursuit of non-dual experience or a glimpse or dropping away of the me, aware of being aware, insert new thing here, invariably creates a craving for its repetition, culminating in a desire for a perpetual state of bliss or happiness or a no-me state or dropping away of the me, a concept that is fundamentally flawed. So the notion of eternal bliss or permanent happiness or a no-me is a fallacy perpetuated by countless texts, repeated by countless speakers, teachers, gurus, yet it is evident that this pursuit leads nowhere. The mechanisms and instruments utilized to chase this state or the no-me have been shaped by years of diligent effort and will, or even the suggestion that there is no effort or will. The paradox lies in attempting to attain effortlessness through effort or non-effort, non-doership, or doing a goal that is inherently unachievable. Hence, the notion of an effortless state, non-doership, no me, is simply non-existent. Doing or non-doing, self or no self, me or no me, awareness or non-awareness, just will keep on going back and forth to the opposite. It's just mind stuff, but there's no mind. Or you can also say that in between mind and no mind, there is this something that can't be figured out. So the effort to figure out something that can't be figured out will just keep going back and forth into this loop of seeking, trying to understand, trying to know, trying to cognize something that is already. So the pursuit of that permanence state through effort is inherently self-perpetuating. It just maintains that self, mind, ego, character, individual, whatever you might want to call it. So any attempt to even cease effort is itself an exertion of effort again. This cyclical pursuit is maddening, pushing one to the brink of insanity, a delusion, a state most feared to be confronted, a belief that no one wants to admit. The realization must basically boil down to that every endeavor to achieve isness, effortlessness, is paradoxically an effort. Even no practice is a practice. It's the same thing. Teaching, no teaching, same thing. Speaker, teacher, same thing. Because there is an effort now to figure out what the speaker or the teacher is saying. So there's a practice on how to say, how to express that there is no me, or how to express that it is aware. Even the desire to abstain from the effort constitutes effort. The isness or the directness is the absence of any exertion. Cannot be attained through striving or non-striving. Even suggesting is an effort. Should anyone grasp the futility of these pursuits, the constant alteration of techniques or non-techniques, or maybe I go to different speaker, different teacher, is meaningless because you're just going back and forth. A belief, non-belief is a belief. Self, no self, same thing. It's maddening. Even questioning the speaking themselves become the obstacle. Regardless of the speaker's identity, regardless of the speaker's clarity or the teacher's clarity, what's always going to be presented is a version of neti neti, not this, not this. It's just repackaged again. So what is being expressed here is elusive because it is not about an understanding in the next. Maybe I will get this in the third session. Maybe I will get this in the next. Maybe there's another speaker that can express this that will zap me out. So it avoids what is constantly being expressed here, that there is no understanding this. Understanding, non-understanding is the same. Because it will just keep on maintaining the character from going from one side to the other. And then when it has a belief system that it remains in that side, then it's planted, and then it will protect that belief system. It will protect their understanding. It will protect their position. Even if that position is no position, it will protect that position because no position is just another position. So understanding demands the cessation of the quest for understanding, both now and in the future. Understanding is an obstacle. Maybe one day I will get this. Maybe one day I will know this. Maybe one day I will grok this. But what's being expressed is the inexpressible. And this directness between understanding and non-understanding, there is a, I can't even say it. But there is this, kind of like what I said, there's this love that is so direct that it doesn't have any conditions. It doesn't have any conditions for you to understand or not to understand. It doesn't have any conditions for you. You and know you the same. So it's just playing in the illusion of separation by going from one corner to the other corner. But what if there are nearly no opposites, and everything that's being said that has an opposite is completely irrelevant? But the moment that you think that that's relevant, yeah, you know what? There's no awareness. There's no me, or it's all awareness. It's all self. Is irrelevant because that's just a thought. And even even someone will say that, you know what's being talked about is not a thought. That's still a thought. You can't get out of it. There's no way out because there's no way in. It just created an in, so it pretends that there's an out, but even when you're out, who's out and who's in? The simplicity of this isness, this directness, is often obscured by the complex mental structures that reject it. The belief that it cannot be that simple, or even the belief that it's already the case, or that's it too, is a defense mechanism of the mind's intricate complexity. If you notice, you can blindly follow along and repeat the same thing over and over again until you're indoctrinated in thinking that it's all awareness or there's nothing. And then it becomes a belief system. And then one wonders why you're stuck in the seeking game for so many years, because it has morphed into that belief system. Rather than seeing as this speaking or this kind of speaking as a way out, it becomes a comfort zone. It becomes a resting place. It becomes a location, something that's familiar, something that can be understood in the next, something that can be held on to, something that can be known. Um, and then speakers and teachers, including the speaker, by the way, please, I'm basically talking about all of them, all, no exclusion. We'll just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about something that cannot be talked about. And that's completely all right. That's completely all right. But what's not seeming to be all right is to buy everything that's being said. What's being expressed here, this discourse, is not really that profound. It is repetitious, aiming to dismantle the listener's preconceived notions. So each statement that's being made is negated. I'm breaking down sandcastles that I built in the last talk as we speak. This process of continual negation serves no purpose other than to liberate this delusion that there is an opposite, that there is two. It's just an assertion that there's nothing to understand. There's nothing to get. But seemingly what happens in these talks is that there's always a waiting for the next, for something to pop, something to clear up. How about this for a pop? What if every single word is popping and it's really nothing? What if every single thing that's being said is completely irrelevant? Because there is something here that is untouchable. It cannot be touched by words, by meanings, definitions, or concepts, but rather by an admission that there is really nothing to get in the next. So in this clarity, the clarity without words, the clarity that cannot really be understood, I'm not coming from a position that I understand it. What's being expressed here, that there's no understanding of it. And there is a contentment of this clarity, of this no next, of the time. So it's not a state that's being talked about here, because a state is just a delusion. It's not a permanent state, because there's no one to have a permanent state, or no one to have a permanent state. It will just keep on repeating, like fractals, basically. It will just keep on repeating over and over and over again. What's being highlighted here is there's this absence of a tangible goal, because the goal is in the next. The capturing this is in the future. Okay, it's recording, sorry. Because the unknown cannot be reached or experienced through any approach, positive or negative. The pursuit of the unknown is a mere intellectual trick, a self-deceptive game. As long as there is a goal, whether it's to know the unknown or the experience, the inexperience, the inexperience, what cannot be experienced, I can't say that word, the approach remains fundamentally positive. The notion to the unknown is the beyond another illusion. Accepting its existence perpetuates the endless quest to know. So this ceaseless movement will not cease as long as it's driven by the desire to experience what cannot be experienced. So in this radical directness, more radical than thinking that there is just nothing, more radical than having any ideas, that becomes uncompromising, because that's just another position. But if everything that has ever been said is missing the point, is trying to take you to another position, is trying to take you to another belief. And what seems to happen is the seekers remain in that belief. And then now they have a new concept, a new belief, a new understanding. And they can parade that around as a knowing, as an understanding, even if they call it a not knowing. It can't get out of the word, it can't get out of duality. And then adapts to a new language or adapts into practices. Adapting to a new language is just another practice, by the way. So what's being expressed here is beyond recognition, not just by boasting by it, not because like I'm special and it's just really beyond the words. The words fall apart because it can only create an opposite. And there's always going to be contradiction because the words will contradict each other. It's going to be paradox all the time. So the unknown is really the unknown. Period. And that's enough. And that's absolutely enough. Not for the seeker, though. Not when the carrot of no me happens, or the carrot, because when this breaks through what's being said, when the words dissolve and the meaning just falters, the belief system goes down the drain, and all of the understanding becomes completely irrelevant. There's a wideness, something that is unthinkable, but in the directness, not in the next, not in the next, not in the negation, not in the declaration, or even a proclamation. So please hear between the lines what's being said here. There is this clarity that doesn't have any word. There's this directness that does not have any opposite. It's illogical. It's not a belief system. I can't create a cult out of this because there's going to be no followers. But that's what's being expressed here, right? There is this directness that does not require a tomorrow or a next. There's this immediacy that does not require any kind of knowing. It's the innocence. It's that pristine clarity that cannot be said. And I've said way too much. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
I hate to be first again, Leela. I got that was some pretty harsh criticism with love. But anyway, there are no words. I'm not asking you for words, but we are engaged in speaking.
Yeah, of course.
This is an engagement of verbalizations for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Just can you say something about this direct love?
Yeah, that's just another
you sound
concept
like you know it, but you sound like you know it when you say this direct love that's inescapable, that's here. And I've heard other people say it too.
Yeah. Again, you know what?
Yeah.
Please don't believe what you believe about me because it's just a belief, right? So, and there's an admission here that I know nothing. And you can believe that or not, but you know what I'm saying? It's just a belief or non-belief is the same thing. That's what I'm trying to say here. Read between the lines. It's not
so
in
it's
what's
the
being
same
said
as hate.
here. Yeah.
It's the same as hate. It's in between love and hate.
No, not.
It's in between love and hate.
Yeah, there's just something that cannot be spoken about. Yeah.
Oh, but when I hear speakers and we talk about the love, and when you just said the direct love that's here, it was like you it was like you tasted it, and I was trying to taste it too.
Do you want to go there?
Oh,
okay. But you might not be able to go there because there's, you know what I'm saying? So
I can't go there.
No. Let's just
I probably can't go
get
there.
all of the lingo. Let's get all of the language and everything, right? So let's go there. What's between love and no love?
There's only love.
According to who?
How could there be no love?
According to who? I'm not saying that too. Yes, you're just going to
because
opposites here, right? So I'm not trying to, yeah.
Even in the most heinous crime, it's done with nobody. There's nobody to do it.
But that's
There's no
just
one
another,
doing it.
yeah, but that's just another belief.
But there's all, well, it's a belief of love. It's a belief of,
yeah.
When somebody is murdering for whatever reason,
Yeah.
just, passionate or
you know what,
stealing.
that's wrong. And you know what I'm saying? And now I'm going to say that's wrong, but it's not what I believe is what I'm trying to say. It's not what I believe. It's not what I understand. That's what I'm trying to
That's not
clearly say here.
what Emerson believes.
Emerson, you know what I'm saying?
Emerson believes what? I didn't get that. Say that again.
Okay. So for example, you're trying to say that, if there's a murderous crime and everything, I'll be like, that's wrong right away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right away. Yeah, you're like,
right
oh,
away.
that poor kid or that woman, whatever. Yeah,
but
right
it has
away.
nothing. But it has nothing to do with what I'm trying to say here.
But you asked me why I said there's only love, and I said there's only love because if you look at the whole expanse, I guess the belief system is nobody's here. Obviously, that's what's here for me.
Yeah.
How could I judge somebody?
How's that belief going for you?
Well, of course, when somebody steals from me, I'm pissed off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of course, I'm just saying there's nobody here, but when you stole my whatever, my bicycle,
But for no one, you have to add.
No, initially, the first response is, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
How did he do that? Right. No, that's the initial.
Yeah.
But if I step back and I look at the big picture, that's just nobody there. That's an innocence, and that's love. That is love and an innocence.
How about we even take away the word love and innocence and all that kind of stuff like that? Because, at the moment that we say words, there's an instant, belief in what it is, the word. But what if words are all made up?
Well, they are.
They are, yeah.
Aren't they?
They are, yeah. Yeah.
You speak another language. You got another whole bunch of made up words. So
yeah,
I just have English.
Yeah. So what if all the words are made up, and then even if we speak about love and not love and crime and everything, it's unnecessary. Because I'm trying to speak about the unspeakable here, and of course I'm failing miserably. Anyone is failing miserably because
Oh, Emerson, come on.
Well, it's true. If everybody
because
believes,
there's no words, no words, and you keep talking. There's no. So when you try to, I'm just trying to get to that. What I perceive coming from direct love.
Yeah.
I can't.
So again,
I'm not there. I can recognize in the big picture. Okay. It's all love, but
all right.
That's what I want.
That's what I'm trying to say is every word that I say, I always try to destroy it because it just becomes another belief system. Now you believe that there's a direct, like I'm just trying to express something that is so direct that it is like love that has no conditions, right?
Exactly. That's it. Love with no conditions. After a year later, you forgive the guy that stole your bicycle. Yeah, it took a long time. Yeah, that's the love with no conditions. It's not immediate for Emerson.
What's Emerson?
It's not.
So we're going back. I'm trying to go directly here, and you go back into the story. Yeah,
we're going.
So I'm trying to break the story, but you keep. I can say that in the story, I'm saying there, but again, that defeats the purpose of what I said in the beginning.
I know.
The beginning is that what we're trying to know the unknowable again, right? And it's almost like it's falling into the trap of what I was trying to say earlier, that there is a complexity that seems to appear as the mind that seems to adapt to what's being said as an understanding. Although what I'm trying to say is it's not an understanding because it's not in the next. So there's not an there's not a future It's this without the words. There's something here that is so clear and so direct that the words
Yes.
are creating this seeming kind of like obstacles behind it. So read
Yes,
between the
yes,
lines,
yes,
right?
yes.
Because each statement is paradoxical. Each statement is negated because there is this continual negation of what's being said here, because the word serves no purpose other than to illustrate that there's nothing to comprehend. And then
there's nothing to imagine.
Nothing to imagine.
There's nothing to imagine.
There's nothing in the next. There's nothing in the past and everything. It's just really clearing up all of the concepts that seem to carry us into thinking that there is no me. There is, there is a dropping away or a state that will happen, a permanence, meaning that whatever seems to appear here at this moment without any kind of
exactly
mental construct, it already is the case. The mind, the me, the self, or whatever, which is also, it's we don't know what that is. We just call it the me, the mind, or whatever, because that's just a thought. Tries to create this narrative that there is something that needs to happen, something that needs to understand. Therefore, making it continual, making it there's a continuity now. But when you snip it at the bud, so to speak, if you're not able to, if you're not able to comprehend what is between a me and no me, then there it is. There's the directness. It's the unknowable. When you say I don't know, wow, that's the wow. Because it cuts the track of the seeker that does not exist. So therefore you see the illusory nature of seeking, because if the seeker gets caught up that it's not there, because the seeker is just a knowing.
Yeah,
it's just a knowing. Yeah,
it's all just knowing. Yeah. That's just everything is just knowing.
Yeah,
that's why it's all effed up.
Yeah, so if you cannot name things, label things, or believe in what you say, then what is there? What is missing? What is lacking?
Nothing.
Yeah, but
it's
again,
nothing lacking.
Nothing lacking. Yeah. So in this nothing lacking, why seek?
I guess to, like, especially
why go
Emerson.
To the next? Why go to the next?
Yeah.
But there's nothing
sometimes in the elocution, the articulation, whatever, it becomes enticing. Not whatever. And I'm thinking, and not just you, I've heard other people talk about unconditional love, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Where is it? It becomes something. It becomes a thing, not a no thing. It becomes a thing.
Okay.
So let me catch that. That's wanted. Let me catch that.
What if you don't have a belief or a non-belief? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just belief that drives this, right? What if the belief ceases? What if you see that the belief is just another thought? So every single thought,
the belief of no me. I actually it happened. Yeah. So I disappeared.
Yeah. Well,
so I became obsessed.
Well, did you
after the disappearance? So
did you really?
I know there's no me. I know there's no me. I know there's emptiness. So I, that became the obsession.
How about this? How about
there's
this, Kathy?
more.
What if what seemingly happened is neither a me or a no me? It just is. You just stamped it as a no me experience, and it became your obstacle because you're looking for the no me when it's the same thing right now. What if you don't have any name for it?
It's the same thing right now.
Yeah. What if you didn't have any name for it, either a me or no me, because that would just create an opposite? What if that was just the wordless? Of course, in the wordless, there's no you or there's no you. It's just the wordless. It's just the directness. The directness is what I'm trying to point out, right? It's not in the future. So for the, of course, you know what, for the character, for the me, it takes that experience and it takes it to the next. How do I get there? Therefore, maintaining the illusion that there's a me that needs to become a no me. Now you believe the story. Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe the story. I would have never believed the story until that.
Yeah.
Kathy left. I would say these people are crazy and bullshitters. Yeah, you had to leave to believe this story.
But what if
here in this body. There had to, there had to be a dramatic boom to believe this story. I mean, I much respect for people who didn't have the crazy boom. I know everybody has these whatever glimpse, but much respect. And that they're open, they find, whatever, there's an openness, a vast,
let me go back into it again. Sorry. What if what happened to you, you can unlabel and unlabel what is happening right now? Because what happened is that you labeled it, you heard from someone that there's no me, you're like, that must be it. So you go start believing that, right? But what if that is the same as if you heard, for example, that it's just all awareness, then you'll be in the awareness camp.
I was there too.
Yeah.
I went to the awareness camp.
Then you just went to the opposite side.
So I went to the opposite side. Yeah, but
which is just another side.
Yeah, it's just another side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just another side. It's just another illusion is what I'm trying to say. Right?
Well, it's all illusion.
It's just another belief system. So if it's a non-illusion, why do you believe then? Isn't that an illusion too?
The belief?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's all illusion. There's nobody. Just like I believe we're not even talking. There's nobody here.
Yeah, but is that really okay?
Is that really happening? Who would know? What? There's nobody to verify. Who can verify?
That's just another belief. See? So the moment it's you have made a solid belief system that there is no me, and that's the obstacle. Because of course the experience is going to be a feeling like there's a me. So it is almost like a cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because there is a feeling of me most of the time. Yeah. Exactly. 99.9% of the time there's a me.
So isn't it a little bit of madness, you know what I'm saying, to think that there's no me when there's a feeling that there's a me all the time?
Well, like I said, there were a couple of the one instance.
Yeah.
Shocked the hell out of me.
But what I'm trying to say is that if you go back into that direct,
it's like
sorry, go ahead.
It's like like what you're saying. It's no me. It's the same anyway. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to where I started with this, because whatever there's a belief, somehow. Obviously, there's seeing through the veil. I have to say it. I have to say it. I mean, there's not many circles where you can talk like this either without, whatever happening. But, when, if I say 99% of the time, me is here, I guess, because you know what, whatever. Well, I guess maybe not 99% of the time, because sometimes you think, what the hell did I do an hour ago or whatever? Yeah. You're trying to recall. Yeah. But when someone, if there's a talk about the directness, the love,
that's what I'm trying to say. Forget about the speakers.
The me goes, the me becomes like, okay, where is it? Where is it? You start looking, you start looking for it. Where is it?
What if your belief is the obstacle to that directness? Is what I'm trying to point out. What if, you know what I'm saying?
So in other words, just have no words, no thoughts, and no words, and just be now, like Eckhart Tolle.
No. That's another thing.
Like right? What? Like what? Just what?
No. In between belief and no belief, what is there? There you go. I don't know. So why do you keep on going to the knowing?
Why? I guess I guess there's something. I think there's something to know. I think you have something to know. When you said some word, I'm like,
that's what I'm trying to say. What are you without that belief?
Yeah.
That's all you're holding on to is a belief. Yeah.
I guess too. I'm so much caught up in
that's a belief. You're going back into a belief.
The verbiage.
Yeah. I'm trying to point out directly. Okay. No, because everything like you come up with. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Like when you say, okay, just right now, if you say there's no me, what's between the me and the no me? Or there's no words. There's no words. You can't use a word now. No words. So what happens? If you, depending on where you are, pictures appear, right? Pictures. The wind is blowing the trees, so the pictures come. So there's always something coming in. There's always something coming in, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Between the me and the no me, who the hell knows? But
exactly.
Letting the wordless
stop there. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Stop there. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell knows? There's nowhere to go with with the unknowable. You just touched on the unknowable, and you keep on trying to go into the knowing. Yeah, you can. Exactly.
I know you can't.
It's what's wrong with you can't go anywhere.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. It's
perfect.
Just
that's perfect.
I'm not really sure where I can go. Exactly. I'm not sure where I can go.
Exactly. Isn't that if there's nowhere to go, then there's no future and there's no past, really, right?
Of course.
Then there's just this directness. And that's what I'm trying to talk about. There's unconditional because there's nowhere to go. There's no more obstacles.
And it's already complete.
That's just another saying. Yeah. You're so brainwashed. I love it.
No, but come on. There's nowhere to go.
You're so brainwashed.
This is it. Yeah, and it's complete because there's no past and no fucking future.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for cursing.
Yeah.
I'm having a ball here.
Yeah. I know.
We never get to talk like this. Sorry, Leela.
I think she's.
I don't know. I was like, I never get to talk like this. I'm sorry to all the other people. There's a lot of people that are in line, but you said you had 6 hours. So.
Yeah. And again, kind of like what I said, I should just repeat what I said earlier. I can't remember.
I'll play the recording.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So,
don't worry.
So the pursuit is a delusion. The pursuit is a delusion.
Yeah.
And it's something that when it's being confronted, it's fearful of that delusion, and it holds on to the delusion and will keep on coming more and more and more about what their belief is, and it doesn't want to admit that there is just delusion of a seeking in the next. That's why it keeps on protecting the idea that that it will come up, it's complete, it's everything. And like what I say, it's an automatic.
Oh yeah, keep getting your excuse. I know.
It keeps on coming up with excuses.
I know.
Because it hopes for something that will never arrive. Because it's already here.
It's so sad. I'm gonna cry.
It's already here, and that's the thing, right? When there is a wanting for something, and the next thing you're trapped in that delusion of the next. Okay, there's 6 hours, rather than seeing that clearly.
No, I didn't want anybody to get mad at me because I'm taking up too much time. I wasn't really thinking about the next 6 sessions.
No worries.
No.
Well, let that settle in for a bit. Saying that there is really no future for seeking. It's futile. It's completely irrelevant. And I'm the speaker that will say that I'm not afraid to lose followers because of what I'm saying. I'm not here to collect followers. All right, Kathy.
This is so much fun. I have to admit, as sad as I am, I'm really happy. By the way, that's non-duality for you.
I don't even know what non-duality is anymore.
Thanks, Emerson. Love you. Thank you.
Love you too. Cheers. What the heck is becoming? There is no next. Yeah. And again, if you really look at words, you know, you can say that there's no next, there's also no next, because they're just words that seem to create this division. The moment that something's uttered, there's a cognition or cognitive, anything that is thought of or not thought of, anything that requires a movement, basically, is just an illusion. So therefore, everything is an illusion because everything is a movement. But there's something that can't quite be caught as a thought, as an understanding, not in the next or not in the future, but it's always here. And even saying always here creates this illusion that there was not here, but it's permanently here. Let's just even say that. And the words can't seem to catch it, because the moment that the word is understood, then it creates another diversion. It's quite witty. As witty as the seeking is so witty because it just maintains seeking. The seeker is such a genius because it keeps on adapting into new ideas, because it does not want to admit that it does not really exist. That's basically it. It keeps on prolonging the seeking to keep its identity as reality. Because if there's no reality, there's no illusion. There's no illusion, there's no reality. When there are no more opposites, everything is just this. And even that's saying way too much. Thank you so much. Oh,
Can I ask one
Leanne.
more question? Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
no,
I'll
I
go on.
have Leanne first, and then I'll get to you. Sorry. Oh, I mean, is that Leanne?
No, it's Daniel.
Oh, Daniel. Okay.
On my friend's laptop now.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, Daniel. How
Hi.
you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
I was just one of my questions is about something we've talked about before, where you're talking about some people, like for everyone, the apparent process is different.
Yeah.
And some people that kind of need to go through stuff like fear, you know?
Yeah.
So you're talking about the story then, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And I guess as I'm trying to formulate the question, actually, I guess the answer is it's just a paradox, because on the one hand, it's already done, and it's not. So this is the question was, I did quite an intense therapy session with my family yesterday.
Okay. Okay.
And a lot of things were said that had been kind of brimming.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I concluded that it's good for me to also do some more therapy to work on my anger, because I don't want to be angry with my mom, which is happening now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But then this story came up like identifying as, you know, someone with mental health issue, and
yeah,
this old belief came back in, like, you know, how can someone like me drop because I'm, you know, I'm fucked up, basically. That's a short version.
Everyone that thinks that there's a me is fucked up, or a no me. You know, saying, because thinking is the epitome of fucked up, basically, right? Because it tries to create a reality that does not exist. It just creates this it's almost like schizophrenia if you look at it, right? So
yeah.
So see how screwed up it is. It tries to make another excuse. It has, you know, because I have this condition, then I can't do this, right? If I have this, so it creates a narrative all the time. It creates a new belief system that becomes a solid, because the belief system is a great hiding place for the identity that's not really there. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with identity, by the way, right? I'm just using words, You can call it identity, ego, mind, whatever, right? It's just the thoughts basically will create another thought to maintain a thought.
Yeah.
And when that thought is maintained, whatever it is, or the belief will create a belief to maintain a belief, right? So even it creates a non-belief to maintain a belief, which is really wild, right? Because if you say, well, I don't believe this, there's still an I there. I believe, I don't believe.
Yeah.
It's still the same. I can say that I believe that there's a me, I believe that there's a no me. It's the same thing. It's just flip-flopping in any sort of idea. So it tries to create a landing. So it becomes a position. So it becomes a solidity. So it becomes a reality. So when you start believing that the reality is I can get this because mental illness is happening, then it's basically, it creates this suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if that is completely, it's just BS? Say, again, it's just BS.
Yeah.
Yeah. The very thinking is the very thinking is mental illness. So everyone has mental illness then, if that's the case, right? Because there's this isness here that is unthinkable. And here we're thinking, if you look at cats, dogs and everything, they're sane.
Yeah.
These characters, saying that, speaking about this, are insane. It's a world that's mad, basically, if you look at it, right? Belief systems, if you look at belief systems, they fight, the wars get started and everything, all because of thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. All because of the addiction of being right or someone's wrong. And again, being right is a great identity holder, right? Well, I am right about this. Or proposing the absolute, like the absolute is the self, and it's just another belief system. It's the same thing as proclaiming that I am. It's the I, you know what I'm saying? It's the thought that keeps on maintaining its presence, although it does not really exist or not exist. Because exist or not exist is just a thought again, right? So it's so stealth, right? That it becomes an obstacle so that it maintains its presence. So it becomes an identity. It becomes a reality. It always proposes something that is missing, something that's lacking, or a dilemma, or something that's got to happen. Because what seems to appear is that there's this completion, this completeness in this wild directness and everything, right? So there's going to be a sensation or a feeling, and then it hijacks it right away into, there's something missing. I will never get this because of my mental illness. And it will keep on coming up with a bunch of excuses, a bunch of belief systems, right? Because it will claim that feeling, that sensation that something's missing into, well, I will never get this. Or, you know what? Or you got there, Emerson. Another separation, right? So we will continually keep on coming up with all of this, like Melanie said, virus. It becomes a viral moment, basically. You know what I'm saying? That there's something that's missing. And that viral moment becomes, when it goes viral, then you're caught up in it. And then you end up going to, nonstop retreats, nonstop this, until you see that it's pointless. So this is already complete without thinking about it. Let's just go there, right? I'm even saying words that I should not say. This is already awake. This is already complete. This is already whole. This is already what is. But the moment that we think that this is what is, the moment that we think that this is awake, the moment that we claim it. You see what I'm saying? The moment that we claim it, then there becomes another division, because it will create an opposite right away. If you claim is that, well, this is awake, and you're like, but I don't feel awake. See what I'm saying? Or we'll say that this is not it. So the words are completely meaningless because I will present, I can yell here, this is it, 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 like a million times. But for the apparent listener, will be saying that, well, this is not my experience. This is not it. So it doesn't really matter what I say, right? So that's what I'm saying. Don't believe in what I say, because when you believe it, the illusion of separation will create this, well, this is not it. I doubt that. Or even if you believe it, then you become delusional then. It's delusion. Believing or not believing is delusion. Any mental thing is a delusion, right? So, yeah. Sorry, more questions. Go ahead, sorry. Just keep on going and going.
So, you were talking about needing to go through the fear, but at the same time, the dropping away has nothing to do. I was talking with Tegan about it, and he was saying the dropping, apparent dropping, whatever, has nothing to do with repressed emotions.
No, not at all. No. Nothing to do. Nothing to do with the story whatsoever, right? Because there's going to be a narrative always. Like, for example, I can say that in my childhood, I had a lot of trauma, so that's why I'll never get it. And I had that story, basically. I have great, great parents, you know what I'm saying? And you can create a whole bunch of stories, of why not this will not happen to you. Or I already had it once, so I will never have it again. I had my opportunity, so it will continually create a story. Or I will never get what Tony, Angelo, Jim is saying, right? Because I am not meant for that. But it has nothing to do with what you think. It has nothing to do with what you believe.
So when you said going through the fear, that was just that had nothing to do with the dropping.
No,
then.
No.
It's just in order to have less fear within the story, you mean?
I don't even remember what I said, you know what I'm saying? But
well, you used the example of your buddy that had agoraphobia and hadn't left his house for years, and
in the directness, he went through it. There's no more fear, because there's no fear or not fear. It's just what is. In the directness, there's no me or no me. You know what I'm saying? There was just happening. That's what I'm trying to talk about. So it's almost like this I have to use a different word than directness because it will become a belief system. In the immediacy, nothing makes sense. It's easy to get caught up in a story. So he had a story of agoraphobia, and then there was this moment of clarity. We've been doing one-on-ones and everything, and he would kind of like, okay, you know what, he would so what he told me, is that he said after a one-on-one that we did, he started, entertaining the idea that when he gets into that clarity, then his thoughts don't really matter. They're irrelevant.
What did you say?
When he went into that clarity, you know what I'm saying? He took that moment, so to speak. Again, this is just a story. He took that moment basically and went with it. So he just kind of like went for it. Like one step led to another, because all his thoughts are become irrelevant, because what was the obstacle to him was he had a whole bunch of thoughts. If he stepped out of the house, he'll get hit by a truck right away. If he crosses the street, a plane will crash on him, that kind of thing, right? So the phobia is created by a whole bunch of. So he took one step after the other, and then he basically said that it almost felt like he blacked out because the thoughts were completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Meaning that he did not rely on his beliefs or you know what I'm saying, or his mental activity anymore. So if you want to talk about mental illness, you know what, that's considered a severe one. He's had it for more than a decade, basically, right? So now he has bought a van. I invited him to come to the meeting and talk about it. He goes, oh, no need, man. I have a lot of places to go. Right? So
awesome.
He does have some moments though, kind of like, like you call me up and he goes, oh my goodness, like I'm feeling fear again. I'm like, that's also it. Just take away the label. And what is that? Right. There's always the illusion is the reality is an illusion, but a very persistent one. Thoughts are an illusion, but a very persistent one. So we'll always keep on maintaining a reality a reality, a reality, a reality. So when you believe that your reality is agoraphobia, and then when you step out of the house, something will happen to you, then that becomes your reality. But when you see that the reality is an illusion, but a very persistent one, it's persistently creating opposites, 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 opposite. That's how it chugs, basically, right?
Yeah.
It creates this and that, ones and zeros, ones and zeros. And then when you see that in between that ones and zeros, you don't know what it is. You have no idea. The I don't know. You're like, you know what I'm saying? In that moment that there's a blackout.
Yeah.
Again, this is just a story. That's what you think is missing. Is here. It's the I don't know. That's the unknowable. And that's the clarity without understanding.
Yeah, I think you've answered one of my other questions, because that's I don't know if it's, yeah. Because when you ask people like, so what is that without any thoughts?
I'll have to change my stuff again soon. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
It's like
again, it's so crafty,
impossible to
right?
answer.
It's so crafty, right? Because if you look at, in the story of time, you know what I'm saying? In the story of time. But let me finish your question first. Sorry. I'll just keep on going on. Sorry.
Well, basically, people will try to answer it. Yeah. They'll say nothing, or
Yeah. And I'll
whatever.
catch it and I'll say what's between nothing and everything.
So you basically, it's like you're getting trap, people basically. To the I don't know, to the
it's a trap,
not knowing. Yeah.
Well, when they go into that really I don't know thing, then it's the unknowable, isn't it? Then everything that they're looking for is that. Right? Because the trick is they think that to know it and everything, that to trick the trickster, right? Go to a place where it doesn't exist. It only knows knowing. It doesn't know I don't know. That's why therefore it's I don't know. There's no self or no self there. It's just clarity. Kind of like saying ignorance, kind of like instantly going back into that innocence. And it's so simple. Because the thoughts will only create opposites, right? Opposites. But what doesn't have an opposite? What doesn't have an opposite? Try. What doesn't have an opposite?
No idea.
Exactly. So why are people just talking about opposites all the time in non-duality? No, me. Doing, non-doing, right? It is, they're trapped in thoughts.
Yeah, separation and oneness.
Separation, yeah, they're talking about thoughts all the time. Thought. Separation, right?
Yeah, separation and oneness.
Yeah. So really a lot of, and again, much love. A lot of people are just talking about their glimpse.
Like teachers.
Yeah. Speakers, teachers. Because I did that 10 years ago. I kept on talking about my glimpse nonstop, right? And I would, of course, because I was not sure of it, so I would go into, according to Ramana, according to Nisargadatta, according.
Yeah,
it's a secondhand knowledge now. I'm trying to recreate an orgasm. And I was maintaining that clarity by helping others. But sometimes the guy's got a party. You can't be a saint all the time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I went partying, I thought I lost it all. And I went into a downhill spiral of like, no, I'm no longer, I'm enlightened and everything because I claimed it. It's the same thing as claiming that there's no one here. The reason why a lot of speakers, like appear and disappear quickly, because I've had a few admissions from people already. It's because they went too soon and started talking about their glimpses and everything. It's okay. It's innocence, saying that's a part of it too. But what I'm trying to talk about here is this immediacy, is this it's never really ending. No one really knows it, so it doesn't really stop at no one here. It doesn't really stop at its awareness is everything, because those are just statements again. It doesn't stop at your ideas. It's infinite. It can't be held on to a concept. Even if you call it no concept, it's still a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your concept that it will not happen because you have mental illness is just a concept. Baloney. It already is. Yeah. When people have mental illness, at least they admit it. There's there's the rest of the world that thinks that they're saying.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they have thoughts in their head, you know what, saying they're believing things in their head. That's
Addicted
insanity.
Yeah.
Addicted to it, saying.
I used to think I was doing quite well, but I was like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Addicted to pleasure and whatever. And
yeah. And that's what happens is when I got addicted to the idea that I was enlightened, I got smacked so hard, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that believing that there's no one here. But when I came into it, I didn't think that it was a belief system until I started hearing people that are talking to me one-on-one and saying that there's still contracted energy here. There's still like, oh my goodness, do you believe that? Really? Yeah. And the same thing, the belief that you have. What's in belief and no belief? What if it's basically, I'm just trying to point out that whatever you think, whatever you know, whatever you perceive is an illusion, but it's a very persistent creating a reality for you. But the you is also the illusion. It will keep on pumping more illusory stuff to maintain a reality that you perceive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think Corey, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just.
Hello, Corey. How are you doing?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
And then I'll have Magic next. Sorry, Magic, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, just wondered if you could say something about like you see what I see, but with you, there's no space in between because there's no distance. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get what you're saying again, right? Because a speaker will say that this is whole and complete. There's no distance, there's no location. It's all whole and everything, right? And for the seeker, that will seem like an experience that they're having, but all experiences are just a narrative, right? Because the belief in subject or object is gone, so there are really no spaces. It's just a belief that there's a subject and object, or there's a location and everything. Yeah, but that becomes another belief if you hear it. So disregard what I'm saying, because it you know what I'm saying, it becomes another separation because you believe now of what I'm saying, of what the experience here. It becomes another absolute. So what I'm trying to say is, if you are looking at this and you don't have any words of what you're looking at, what do you see? If you're looking at this without any beliefs or any secondhand knowledge, anything that you've never heard, what are you seeing?
I see a head and shoulders of a man with a cap on.
Yeah, simple. And even take away that, what do you see? Because those are words again. That's description. Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Oh. That was so dawning.
Yeah. It's, if you really are looking at it directly, can you use words, thoughts, anything hand on, then you're really looking at the unknowable, because all that you have is knowing, and all knowing is an illusion. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's quite simple, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the moment that we look at something, it's hijacked by a thought saying that that's a hat, that's a man, that's Emerson. And that's the illusion, is the naming of things, the identifying things, the saying that there's a distance there or whatever, right? So if that is just creating an opposite of something, then what if you can't use words? Because the words will just keep on creating reality. The words, the thoughts will just keep on maintaining that there's something that's missing. So again, what if you see this and you can't use words, thoughts, or any idea, even for a brief moment?
I can feel it.
Yeah.
I can definitely feel it.
Yeah.
And I suppose that our conditioning, the apparent me, that's a window and that's got glass in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's looking at it without that conditioning, isn't it?
Yeah. Like if you look at a baby, right, when the baby's looking at it, it doesn't have any conditioning, so it sees directness. If it's hungry, it cries, it smiles for no reason. And then we learn separation. We learn that that's a red, a hat, or Corey, or, me or no me. And then later on when we're seeking, we learn, we get indoctrinated that there is a me or no me. I bet you 90% of the population in the story, of course, have no idea. And they're not burdened by this seeking. You know what I'm saying? All we really have is words. And no one wants to admit it, that the words just become belief system. The courage to basically expose it. Because it can, you know what, it can be, once a glimpse happens, you know what I'm saying, it can be intoxicating to have followers and to maintain a belief system. And then you get passed on and passed on and passed on until someone comes along and say it's all crap. With love. But yeah, there's this directness here, right? That it's unthinkable. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oof.
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 Oof. Oof. Oof.
If I look at a tree,
Yeah.
and sometimes that tree appears feels like it's inside of me, although there's no me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that different?
It's you're just trying to put into words something that cannot be said, right? So yeah, that it too, that it too. And that's why when I, when the people ask me when I walk in the morning, I walk, you know what I'm saying, because I have such a deep sleep, I don't have any dreams anymore. So when I woke up, naturally there's no thoughts. So my dog jumps to my bed, goes, let's go, and then I go for a walk, and I'm in wonderland because I don't have the name for things anymore, because it's no point in naming it and everything, right? So you're just in this wowness all the time, right? When you're walking, until somebody books like a one-on-one and I go back into the directness again, right? And then
what about when you put your foot in a dog's in the footpath?
Sometimes that ruins the magic. You're like, shit. But that's it too, right? There's just a lot of absent-mindedness here that's happening, right? Again, that's nothing special. You're also absent-minded, but you just think that you're not. How many times do you forget things over and over again?
Yeah, a lot.
For everyone, not just Corey. A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just so caught up in that illusion of thinking that we think that we're thinking, but that's just a thought. Are we really thinking, or is that just a thought?
You really feel it when you're saying it.
Yeah.
Energy coming between the words. Yeah, you kind of want to go, wow.
Yeah.
Explode, really. Ooh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could get out and do a dance right now. I'm not, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm full of myself. I only do that when no one's looking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Curry. Magic in the wild. Hello?
Yeah, I notice like I can kind of feel my questions come up and then die.
Yeah.
They like die inside me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, there's still like some idea that I should really ask a question or
If you may,
something.
yeah, yeah.
And I guess maybe it has to do with just like discomfort.
Yeah.
When I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, like sometimes I just really don't like what's happening in me, but I also notice like as I'm listening to some of the other people, like
Yeah.
sometimes like and yet when my body just sobs, I don't not like it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, if you unlabel all of this stuff, right? It's just aliveness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, if you unlabel if it's just aliveness, right? It's like we get caught up in, in our ideas of whatever, right? So kind of like what you're saying, it's coming and going, right? So when if you see what's not coming and going is always here, then the coming and goings just become irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's this,
I'm
there's,
like,
yeah.
I'm okay. Here's
Let's meet where everything dissolves.
Trap this one.
Yeah.
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 But sometimes it feels so real.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that, I don't know.
Yeah. You can use
That's
that.
the right word, but
yeah.
It's like, yeah, sometimes I really don't like it. And I'm like, okay, well, what if that's even it? And I was,
yeah. And again, mental constructs will go to like and not like. Like to maintain an illusion that there's a you that's liking and you that's not liking. That's basically it. But there's nothing wrong with it. It just goes into, opposites. Yeah, it's almost like a play, right? Like, not like. So it can creates a continuity. Because what if there's just all like?
yeah, there's this like, okay, great. Can we go there?
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah. Okay, great. For me, it's more like anything that seems to happen is like meh. Yeah, it's just is.
Oh, even like self judgment just is.
Yeah.
Like when
But
that appears.
but if you see that that's
And
also relevant, then it's like, so what? Yeah. It can appear, you know, saying it's kind of like it's like you know, when there is an illusion and then you catch up that it's just all, like, for example, if you're looking at, when you're a little kid, I used to get scared at shadows in, like, in a hangar and everything, and when you turn down the lights, then you see that it's not really there, you know, it's just a shadow of a hangar, it's not really a monster. That's what thoughts are, basically. When you see that it's not really there, then what seems to be scary or fearful is just shadows, or just, you know, illusions, basically. So now I sleep with the light half on and half off. I'm just kidding. But you know, I'm trying to say, right? It's just a construct.
yeah, it's like, because I get it. I get everything you're
Yeah.
saying, you know, like,
yeah,
totally.
yeah,
And I'm like, I think that's why the question keeps dying inside me.
yeah.
Because
The questioner is fighting, right? Because it's fighting for its relevance.
it's almost like it's like but what do I do? But what do I do when it feels really real? Like that's when I
It tries to go to the next. See, it tries to go to the next, so to avoid this again. Did you see it? Did you catch it? Yeah. It tries to create what to do. What about next?
Yeah, it's like, but it goes into the past, right? It's like, yeah, but you don't understand. Like 10 minutes ago, like this was
Exactly. It goes to the
happening, and
past,
my brain was going, and I wasn't listening, and like. You say this is enlightenment, but then why is it so uncomfortable sometimes?
Well, that's it too.
I think I told you that I have that kind of joke with myself. I don't know if it's a joke or not really, but it's like I'm headed for enlightenment, but I'll settle for peace.
Yeah, you said that the last time we talked. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're like, what? This
What
is
a great
also it. I'm like,
negotiator, though. What a great negotiator, though. Bravo. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't know that it's trapping itself as well, right? So, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I just like, I really want you to solve everything right now.
Yeah. In the tomorrow.
I'm joking, but I'm not joking.
This is the way that the well, tomorrow I'll solve it for you. You know what I'm saying? And then tomorrow I'll say tomorrow. And then the next you'll just be I'll get to it tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Again, what if what seems to appear as something missing is also part of this? Meaning there's nothing really missing. Yeah. Problems are still gonna come. You know what I'm saying? This is not gonna solve problems and everything. But what seems to happen with the problem is it no longer becomes a problem when it's direct. That's it too. That's it too. That's it too. That's it too.
And it's this interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I somehow I'm having an easier time finding it with another than on my own.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not hand me down, right? This is not pass me down or anything. The isness is what you are without thinking of what you are. The unthinkable is what you are. You just think that you're thinking. If you catch my drift, right? Without any labels, without any words, that's what this is.
Yeah, like even oh, it's easier with another.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Magic. Hello, J Sims. Oh, I like your hat.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Yeah.
How's it
How's it
going?
going? Oh, good. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Good.
I keep slipping into direct experiencing, and then
Yeah.
I keep having this pull of like, oh, I need to do something, and then I have these like intrusive thoughts that keep.
Yeah, but that's also a part of it. That's also direct. Yeah. So for example, what's between direct and not direct?
I don't know,
There you go.
direct.
You just have an understanding of what direct is now, right? So that becomes the thought becomes that it has to be direct experience all the time, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's simple.
So if thoughts arise and then I follow them for a while, or they take me on a ride, I mean, that's
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Sometimes that's the fun of life, you know what I'm saying? But when you see that it has nowhere to go, really, it's just basically like back and forth, back and forth. And you see that it will just take you to the past or the future, past or the future. But when you see that there's no past or future, what are thoughts?
I don't know.
There you go. If you can go to the past or the future, then there's just this unknowingness here. So all the thoughts just basically fall into a black hole. Because thoughts really just create a past or future to create a reality.
Yeah, what's here now is beginning to feel more and more spacious as
Yeah.
time
Yeah,
goes
there's
on.
just this spaciousness, right? So the thoughts just create like a bookend. This is the infinite, you know? That's not a correct representation of the infinite, but I'm just this is the universal sign language for the infinite. Whatever. So that the thought, the idea, the mind creates this bookends, past, future, right? So it becomes this identity called whatever. So it now thinks it's that identity, when actually without any bookends, there's the spaciousness. There's a simultaneous story of Emerson. There's also a simultaneous story. Unknowable is that there's no Emerson. So simultaneously, there's this is and not is. Does that make any sense? You can't think about it basically. Yeah. The I don't know. The in between. The I don't know. This like, whatever. Yeah.
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 It's funny. I'm in sales, and I was in a sales meeting last week, and I noticed I was shifting out of like the in between, and I was like, oh, it's a lot easier to like sit back in that as the meeting's going on. So that was.
Are the
It was
sales
actually
still
really
going?
cool to, like,
Are the sales still
recognize.
going strong? You said that the sales went up. Are you still there?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, it seems like there's just been so much more flow and all my sales processes ever since we've started talking. So that's been good.
That's good. Yeah. There's almost kind of like people are afraid that, when there's this seeing through this, right? That what if I become completely lazy and I can't do anything anymore? And, actually there's aliveness. Aliveness, to sit around and do nothing, that's cool too. Also aliveness just to do whatever, dancing, sales. For me, it's looking for the perfect pastry shop that sells the best baked goods, kind of thing.
Yeah. What's your favorite pastry?
I love croissant. I love cinnamon roll. I love French stuff, basically, like a lot of butter and a lot of sugar, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the stuff that drives you to do juicing.
Yeah. I love the juicing part. It's like it's great. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay Sims.
Yep.
Okay. Oops. What happened there? Hi, Gunver. Hello, Gunver.
Can you hear me? Because
I can hear you, yeah.
Because I'm not using these headphones for once.
Oh, I can hear you clearly. That's really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask something because you spoke, I can't remember who you answered about right and wrong, like the identity will stay if you take a position of right and wrong.
Yeah, that's it too.
Yeah. But in that, let's say, I don't know what word to use right now. Let's say I have this, let's say, confrontation in my daily life with a character.
Yeah.
Where although that I caused that affliction to happen because I got fed up with something that he did.
Yeah.
And I in the end said, I don't feel this feels right for me. And then I rose and left.
Yeah.
And we live in the same building and he's been my friend for really many years.
Yeah.
But now when I sometimes bump into him in the street or in the staircase, I come with this openness because I really felt that what I said was honest from my heart.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask is, how come I can feel a sense of openness and love in myself, but I can also feel this confrontation of anger?
Yeah.
Well, how come I can feel two emotions, if that's right, at the same time when none of them are true? And I come back to my own home if I meet him in the staircase, and that's where this I sets in, because I judge myself for having actually, but none of it was done by me.
Yeah. Well,
so
again,
where this I takes the possession of right, like you say.
Yeah.
But it's because I'm open and it's met with, let's say, hostility.
Yeah.
And you can feel both those emotions. What's going on? I don't understand it because I end up picking the I in that situation.
Yeah. Well, you know what seems to appear, right? There is going to be whatever seems to appear. It's almost like an opportunity to see the perfection of Gunver. Gunver frustrated, Gunver open, you know what I'm saying? It's the openness. The openness is what you are not, Gunver the character. So there's this unconditionalness. If you get pissed off, that's it too. You know what I'm saying? And if you,
it backfires at me because I see the character Gunver who failed, like I don't see what you just described. I see him being completely angry, and then me being the one who caused it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's quite uncomfortable because I basically known him for 25 years. There's a hurt in what he did, and there's no opportunity to talk about it because it was kind of like a shutdown situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know where to go from here with it as a character. I'm just letting it out.
Yeah.
But I tend to give myself a big blame talk every time I bump into him. And that's where this character of right and wrong rises,
Yeah. Again, what I'm saying? So any stories will come up, for example, like, for example, if I meet someone in the street and someone that have wronged or someone that have wronged me, there's always going to be the illusion of right or wrong, right? So illusion is reality is an illusion, but a very persistent one. Right or wrong is an illusion, but a very persistent one. So even that feeling is just to maintain that there's a right or wrong. And what a best way to present reality, especially if you have history with it. Like, it's like, so that, and it's just a melting away of what seems to appear. You know what I'm saying? There's this idea that this is all love and light, that there's going to be an embrace of everything, right?
Because like I spoke to you last time, I told you that it has been actually worse since I dropped the, because
there's an authenticity.
It's been like, oh my God, I wish I was just this good old seeker, It's like so straight on. So actually it has been very whoa,
Yeah. Well, it's the character is just an opportunity to see the unconditionality of the character. For example, there's more authenticity, so there's no filters, right?
Exactly.
So it's liberation. Liberation can appear as you getting pissed off. That's liberation.
Yeah, but like I did get, I felt like, okay, I had enough of this. I had spoken out on it for many times.
Yeah.
So I just rose up, and it's a long time ago, it's half a year ago or something. Yeah. And so there was this sense of doing the right thing, even if it was just something that happened. Yeah. But let's say sometimes we do something that feels right because we have maybe been people pleasers during the whole
season. Of course, it's just all residues or conditioning that's coming up, right? So, it's.
So my question actually is like, how come I can feel too I can feel my own sense of righteousness and openness, and then I can feel this hatred or anger coming towards me from the seeing character. How come one can have two?
Because there's clarity now. It's not one or the other.
It seems like I don't want two. I want one that seems has to be the right one, like you spoke,
Yeah. So sometimes you see the whole spectrum of it, like you're seeing that the anger and the openness is the same, really. You just don't know how to process it, basically, right? So kind of like what I was saying to Kathy earlier, like, what, there's a character that would be angry here if someone is getting, like murder or something, right? But I also see the emptiness in it simultaneously.
But this happens fine for me when it's some people I don't know.
Yeah.
But this hasn't have to be, let's say, with someone that I've had a history with, like you said.
Yeah.
So there don't seem to be the same objectivity.
Yeah, but because reality will always make a case when it has an opportunity. So, for example, someone that creates more of a division than someone that you don't know. It's always going to be like that, right? So if you see the fallacy of both, you know what I'm saying? Both are insignificant, basically.
So, like for instance, in your life or your daily, like you just spoke about, like you get up and you don't have any narrative anymore. You don't have any thought. And
there's quite a while, maybe in the first year, that the Emerson didn't have anywhere to go, so my dreams were so vivid. So they're so vivid.
This up because the dreams are crazy.
So because the character, the Emerson, has nowhere to go, right? Because it's silent, in the
it's because the dreams are like way heavier and crazier.
Oh yeah. The drama is in the nighttime dream now, right? Until that vanished too. So eventually that went away too, because I would wake up and I'm like, that's funny, right? Because it's just, because there's no more drama. So in the nighttime dream, it's so dramatic, it's crazy. All,
It's like, what the heck? It's like,
is it the same with you right now?
Yeah, it is. It's
well, it's the first year, right?
I wanted to mention it, but now you were bringing it up. I actually forgot about it.
Yeah.
Because I still have thoughts, but I spoke to Curry after the last meeting, and I think I remember telling her that I do have thoughts, but they are no longer relevant.
They're not relevant,
They're like a background noise, like a radio playing in the other room or something. But I do still have thoughts, but it's like I don't really notice I have thoughts unless some thought steps up to the front.
It's on demand. It's on demand. It's like like a Siri, right? It's like it's like it's kind of funny, right? When someone asks me, "Do you still have thoughts?" I'm like, "Well, I don't really think about it." That's the same.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really think about it. Like I'm sure I still have thoughts, but I don't really think
it doesn't because that's just thinking is just another thought. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter. Yeah.
Oh, I've been thinking of having some thoughts the other day. It's true. It's like they're there, but they're not really there because there's no one paying attention to them anymore. So they have been played down so severely that I don't even know if they're really there. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, and maybe sometimes
But it doesn't matter anymore, right? It doesn't really matter. Yeah.
No, but you can say, like in this incident that I now speak, there it seems like that those thoughts very relevant and very profound, like, and that maybe because there's some residue of sadness, because what this character that I confronted him with, he kept lying to me. And in the end, I kept saying, why are you lying to me? I mean, you've known me for 25 years. It's just me. What you... And in the end, I just got so fed up with it, like, because we would just meet for coffee or whatever, and then he would be like, and in the end, I was just like, I don't want to hear this BS anymore.
And you know what? And that's the authenticity that's coming through, right? The no filtered version.
Yes, but also the sadness is now coming through. For what kind of friend are you? If you know, there's some sadness because I know this character for like 25 you know, and now he's not there anymore, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And he's living two floors down from me.
Oh, okay.
Why did you create that circuit for yourself? Well,
again, you know what? It's always going to make a case for reality, right? So even that is going to, you know what? That's it too.
Yeah, and this is what I'm forgetting. That, you know, I'm forgetting. So it grips hold of that I in those kind of situations.
Yeah. And you know what? There's going to be, you know what? It's like the weather. The weather is going to be, some days going to be raining, heavy pour. You're not going to like it, right? So there's going to be that super sunny and you're walking around in Wonderland having no thoughts or whatever, you know? But we don't think about those Wonderland days because we're not thinking. So
actually the other day, I don't know if you ever have that, but because don't you have, like, then do you have rainy days and sunny days, or is it no longer like that?
It's lighter. Even the rainy days are lighter.
Yeah. Because that's definitely lighter here too. And I don't know if you sometimes have this sensation or whatever you want to call it, but I had the other day, I was like, I went to bed and I was just like, this was the perfect day. Absolutely everything was just so great. Big and the small and the happy and the sad, but I was just this kind of like
a perfection, right? It's like, oh my goodness, this is perfection.
Day, like total harmony, even if half of it was crap or seeming crap. You know?
Totally,
Then I went to bed thinking, wow, what an incredible day.
It is, it is. I have those, It's just like, oh wow, you know, this is a perfect day. And contentment is my word for it. There's contentment, and it becomes more and more and more and more, right? So in the story, right, it's almost like a progression into more clarity. If you notice it, the clarity that it's okay to be angry, it's a clarity to it's full on. I don't like using that word anymore. It's an acceptance without any
this is a good word, because I wrote something down this morning. I write a journal that the only thing that really happened when that whatever happened, non-happened, it's a complete acceptance of everything. That's actually
and that's what I mean. The love so direct, it has no conditions. That's what it is. A total acceptance, right? So
and then a completely different question. Haven't you checked out all the bakeries by now in Toronto?
I have. There's so many good ones. There's so many good ones. One day I ate a box of almond pistachio croissant.
Oh my God, because I love croissant dosa, and I'm a little bit like you with this, because I used to have an eating disorder many years ago. And the one thing I wanted really to eat was bread and cakes, and I loved it. So I have my favorite places with these things also here in Amsterdam.
Of course, you know, and I'm an introvert, right? So I savor my moments eating by myself, you know, and having a box of croissants and everything, right? So, and it's just me and the food and no one else. You know what I'm saying? It's just
okay, and so you still have some places.
I still have some. I still have some. The first thing that I check when I go to a city is the bakeries around. I go to Yelp. So
it's kind of like the first thing to, even before you check into your room.
I look at the ratings. I'm like, oh, I have to go to this place. Right? So when I was in Montreal, I took back a box of croissants, a creme brulee for my mom, and a whole bunch of other pastries from a really good, you know, French bakery, right? So, And but I can taste the differences, you know what I'm saying, of how it's made. I'm the same thing with scents. I love scents, you know, like when there's
like candles or like
colognes. I like, you know, colognes.
Yeah, okay.
So I know the base smell and everything. You know, that kind of thing. That sense is heightened because I don't have a lot of fluctuations here, so to speak, right? So
you would be a good wine taster, probably.
Yeah, like a sommelier.
Smell out the...
Yeah, I wanted to be a sommelier, but
one of the hardest things to get in.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to try it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's this character here that wants always to. But at the same time, you know what? I'm good with the sense. I'm good with the taste. You know, the senses, and you know what? And this is just a story. You don't have to buy it or whatever. But the more that it progresses, the senses become more aliveness, right? It's like, you know, or hearing music. Like I play the piano at night, and then I listen to different kinds of music, and it makes me cry sometimes, you know, that kind of thing, because there's just the directness of it.
I feel with music, I've had it for many years already, because you have this kind of thing with art also. You have a very strong connection when you see something.
Oh yeah.
A piece of art, it becomes tangible because there's a direct understanding of what that artist maybe did.
Yeah.
I really had that. I spoke to Corey about that.
Yeah.
I had that with Vincent van Gogh because I live here in Amsterdam, and I go to the museum, and you know, I was obsessed with him. I knew everything about him.
Yeah.
Because his paintings just spoke so
I love artists too. I love artists. So like, for example, there was like any time that there is a big artist here in Toronto, like, you know, they have like you know, they had Frida Kahlo here, right? So I spent like 5 hours in the museum. I get my money's worth, you know what I'm saying? It's not just like I'll sit there, like, you know, be like, I'll come back to you, you know what I'm saying? It's just so beautiful. It's just almost like you feel the aliveness in the paintings and the strokes and everything, right? It's just this vibrancy, right? So, you know, there's more appreciation for art, for music, for food, anything, because the way that I
very much colors, you know, like
colors. Yeah, look at that color. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. I know red is your favorite color. It's a color I love, but I can't have it in my home because I am sensitive to colors, actually.
Yeah.
So if I catch a color in my eye I cannot have, then I have to.
Yeah.
That's one of the few things I'm very highly sensitive to.
Yeah. Is this okay right now?
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise I would have let no. It's okay. Yeah. I just can't have it in my own living space. Red is really strong. Yeah.
I like colors. I like vibrancy. And there was a period of time that I was just really more into the subdued, you know, because I was trying to be holy and everything, which is okay, which is fine, you know. But you know what? Someone is sending me some mala beads, and I'm going to use it, you know, saying not as a prayer, but just as a jewelry. It's nice. You know what I'm saying? It's nice. I'm not caught up in it.
Bracelets and stuff. I use.
Because at one point, you know what, there was almost gonna like a disgust, an allergic reaction. Now there's an openness to it. It's okay, right? Because
the only thing I really have a hard time with after all those years of seeking is still I can't pass by a place where I smell incense or something.
I can't do that too now. I got rid of my incense.
Okay, really? Like, oh my God.
Because you're reminded of the holiness in the temple and everything.
Yeah,
right?
I totally used up my points on that. I can't. I'm kind of like no. I don't like when things are too smelly or too you know.
Yeah.
I always become like none. You know, like.
Yeah. There was one time that I was putting nagchampa as my scent.
Oh yeah.
So I smelled like nagchampa when I walked around. Yeah.
I don't know if I smelled like that, but I just had enough of
a lot of sand, and I use sandalwood soap, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And he had nagchampa soap as well, right? So, so there was a belief system in this sense and everything, and
I don't even know if it's a belief system anymore. It's just awakened this kind of like if I smell incense, I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. Like
yeah. Well, that's directness.
Yeah.
You don't even have to call it anything, right? There's just I just use the belief system because that's what usually the apparent seeker has, is just a whole bunch of belief and everything, right? So
I'm also trying. I don't know if you had this or have this, but I'm trying not to judge, because sometimes I'm like, I mean, I have a really strong internal voice sometimes, you know, that's talking back to what it's experiencing, like, you know. But
that's okay too. Yeah, you know what seems to be happening, the deepening or whatever. Although this is just a story again, right? Yeah. There's a lot more compassion and love, you know, and less judgment and everything. Yeah, but there were judgments too. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, right? So it's just mental construct anyway.
But I would say compassion for this character, if that, you know, because there was such a condemning before, but now there's a compassion for this character, but also for others. But like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just like sometimes there is a very strong internal voice, but then I'm like, maybe there's some kind of adjustment of all sorts of things, because I'm not really judging it anymore, but I am noticing it sometimes, you know?
And that's okay. That's okay. Remember, you've had decades of thinking and seeking and everything, right? Yeah. So this is brand new. So it's almost like adjusting to the infinite, basically. And you have finite ideas about the infinite. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's perfection. It's perfection. Yeah.
It's very beautiful. Yeah. Very very direct.
Yeah. Very. Very direct, that I don't even have a name for it sometimes, right? So
there isn't really, isn't there? Because it's just that you can shove this directness word to the side and there it is, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a word, like you say.
It's just a word, to kind of like, I have to change it soon.
In a way, like what when you were speaking to Kathy before about love, you know, love is even just a word also. It's like
just a word, you
can't express what it is.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. I'm just trying to throw things out.
I know, but it's just, it's like if one puts that words aside, it's really right there, you know?
Yeah, it becomes another thing to achieve, another thing. So the invisible trickster, you know what I'm saying, tries to create this division all the time by saying, well, you know that word, but I don't know. I'm like, we don't know what words are. Even knowing is a word. We have no idea what's happening. We just think that we know.
No idea what's happening.
Yeah, no idea. No one has any idea. Even if you believe that they know,
Yeah, because we're trying really, really hard to figure everything out. But actually, if we wouldn't do that, we would be completely free in that unfolding.
Yeah, it's like childlike, right? You know, the child doesn't, you know what? They have this curiousness, but it's a part of, you know, like I have nephews and nieces. They're like, Uncle, why is this the color of the sky blue? And I'm like, I have no idea. And they'll keep another question. It's just curiousness. Thoughts are just curiousness that we have seemingly matured into our identity. That's basically it. For a kid, it's just curiosity. For the seeker, the adult seeker, it becomes this identity.
Yeah, we all know this curiosity from our own childhood.
Yeah.
Because I remember lying in the grass looking up into the sky at summer with my sister, and we would say, what do you think is behind there? What do you think is behind? What do you think is behind and behind and behind and behind?
Yeah.
What's behind that? What's behind the heaven? What's behind the blue? What's behind, you know?
And we think that we have grown up, but we're the same in seeking. You know what? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next?
That's why we're so crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's insane.
Yeah, no, don't you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay. I spoke a lot now. Thank you, Emerson.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's funny. There's an AI here.
Emerson.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Do you have a IKEA in your neighborhood in Toronto?
Yes, we do, of course. Yeah.
Have you been there?
A long time ago.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah. Huh? A long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know if it's the same here, but all they do is cook cinnamon rolls all day.
Oh, yeah, they do, but it's not the best.
Oh, well, I never had them, but when you walk in, you're overwhelmed.
Of course, I know IKEA cinnamon rolls. Yeah.
So I bought a couch. I don't eat any wheat. I'm celiac. Yeah. So I bought a couch from there one time.
Yeah.
And my God, it must have been a month. I kept opening the windows
It smelled like
the
cinnamon
fan on,
rolls. Yeah.
smelled like cinnamon.
That
It
or
held
meatballs.
and or what
Meatballs.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
You're lucky you
no.
got the cinnamon cooking at that time. If it was
No,
meatballs, you.
oh my God. I couldn't. Oh, they're not that good. Well, I don't eat them. But I love the scents too. This is Tiger Bombs.
Oh, I love Tiger Balm.
I love Tiger Bombs.
Yeah.
You put this on when you're outside and nothing bites.
Exactly. The mosquitoes don't like the Tiger
Nothing
Balm.
bites. And then I have like about 4 cans and I put them around my bedroom all over the place.
So there's,
guess what? The bugs don't come into your bedroom.
that's right.
When you
I
have
think
the
it has a
cans
little bit of
around there.
citronella, it has that like citrus stuff, right? So
it's wonderful. It's because then you don't have to spray all that poisonous stuff on yourself, like whatever they sell in the, the pharmacy. But then I read somewhere, just put a bunch of cans around and the bugs will come in. It's wonderful. I love it. Because I hate bugs. Anyway, hate bugs.
Thank you, Kathy. How about your dreams at the moment, Emerson? The dreams are actually just deep sleep. It's kind of boring now, right? But there's peace, there's just like almost like just like sometimes like the deep color blue ocean kind of thing. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm trying to put words into it. It's just very peaceful. I guess it reflects what seems to be in the daytime, right? There's just ordinary no more fireworks kind of like thing, but there's contentment. There's just, it's peaceful. But there's nothing wrong. Again, don't think of that as something to attain again, right? So but yeah, I used to dream when I think the first year it was kind of funny because the character, the individual to me has nowhere to go. So it kept on appearing on dreams and it kept on being kind of like there were dreams that there was still a spiritual teacher, and there were dreams that I was like a degenerate. So all the spectrum of Emerson basically was appearing in the nighttime dream until I can't remember when was the last one. Yeah, but it's been a while.
Gunver triggered something here too, because I like really like laid into my sister a couple of days ago. There's so much guilt around it, so much guilt, even though I didn't do it. Somebody, trying to come from another place, the guilt is still here. It comes, and pain, and it's very, very painful, extremely painful. But I don't know, nothing to do.
Yeah,
nothing to do.
Yeah, that's it too. You know what I'm saying? And whatever appears. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. You can, okay. When is the next session is it's an hour, right? So after an hour from this break, I don't remember. Sorry. I'm so bad with time. So is it an hour after this? Yeah. Okay. And it's going to be the best session ever. Just kidding. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you back in an hour. And